Hello everyone, and this is the last page of your observation. Last page, yay. So there are 18 parts. There are 18 categories under which you are being evaluated. Okay, so now let's go to number 13. Establishes and maintains discipline by teaching and reminding students the acceptable code of conduct. Okay, now I'm sure all teachers, even though we are in the process right now of working on our official code of conduct handbook, I'm sure as teachers you know the basic codes of conduct in a class. For example, you can only speak. Raise your hand to get permission to speak. There is absolutely no gum chewing. No sleeping in class. No yelling in class, calling out. Raise your hand, ask for permission to leave the classroom. Be courteous to one another, be polite to each other. And when one person is either drinking water or has gone to the bathroom, another person cannot leave the room. So no more than one person leaving the room. No throwing things across the classroom. You have to hand things to your fellow classmates or to your teacher. No throwing things across the classroom. And of course, students cannot dismiss themselves. They have to wait for the teacher to dismiss them. So we're going to be looking for rules like this: raising of hand, no gum chewing, no sleeping, no yelling, ask for permission to talk, be polite to each other, no more than one person can leave the room, and no throwing things across the classroom. And absolutely no bullying in class or out of class, because sometimes a student might say something, he or she might be super smart, and then the other kids start laughing or they start bullying him. So maybe we can eventually make a list of these rules and put them in class so that students know, students have a clear perception in their mind as to what is right and what isn't. Let's go to 14 now. Organizes students for effective and respectful collaboration. Okay, what does that mean? It means that when you assign a group project or a pair activity, you want to make sure that people are talking to each other the right way. Also, if it's an English class, there's absolutely no Arabic in English-speaking classes. Okay, unless it's Arabic or Islamic or Saudi culture. If it's a math class or a science class or an English class, there is absolutely no Arabic allowed. Okay, and we want kids to respect each other. So as a teacher, you must teach students how to respect each other. Students should be cordial and formal to each other. What do I mean by that? They should call each other by their first names. They shouldn't make up names for each other like cutie, fatty, sweetie. These names, you should not allow them because they can actually lead to name calling outside of the classroom and maybe even to serious bullying. So we have to be careful about that. When students attempt to call each other anything but their first name and last name, do not let them to do that, even if it seems like it's fun at first. Okay, let's go to number 15. Demonstrates effective interpersonal relationships. What does that mean? It means that students should interact with each other and not leave any other child out. For example, avoid isolating students, okay? Students should not isolate other students from the social life that's going on in a classroom or even outside a classroom. Okay, all students should be friends. If you see a student and he or she wants to be by themselves, try to encourage them to join in and be friends with everybody. We want everyone to be like a big happy family. Isolated students is really a bad sign, really. Because it means that maybe students are being socially bullied and we don't even know it. Social bullying means that not all students are included in all the social events or activities that are happening inside the classroom. Okay, let's continue now. Demonstrates employee responsibilities. Okay, what does that mean? Okay, I'll tell you what this means. First of all, your classroom should be super neat. Classrooms should be very, very neat, okay? All teachers are responsible for keeping the classrooms neat. Sometimes I walk around, I see some classrooms, including my classrooms, sometimes they're very, very messy. And then when children ask me for a favor, what I do is I say, okay, if you want a favor from me, you have to clean up, okay? All teachers should make sure that students clean up. All teachers should make sure that students' work is organized. Student work must be organized. Do not let students take their papers and shove them underneath their desk and mix them up with their books. Books should be separate, handouts should be separate, and notebooks should be separate. Everything should be neat. Because neatness actually teaches a child to be motivated. And we want motivated children in our school. We don't want children who are low on self-esteem. We don't want children who lack the willingness to take that extra mile and be somebody better. Okay, now let's go to number 17. Support school regulations, programs, and policies. So, as I said before, ask children to raise their hands. Do not allow children to gum chew. No eating in class. There's no eating in class either. No eating. Okay? Children are allowed to have a water bottle on their desk, but that's it. They should not be eating in class. It's not allowed. Also, no sweets in class. I noticed some children have cookies and donuts. We don't allow that. Our cafeteria is full of healthy food. So therefore, please follow the rules of our school. No running in the hallways and no running in the classrooms also. Okay. And number 18, the last one, assumes responsibilities outside the classroom as they relate to school. Okay, so when you get into the classroom, make sure your objective is on the board. Make sure your date. Now we said that an objective is a question that your lesson will answer. A question that your lesson will answer. Okay? Have the date on the board. Okay? And always, always ask your students to be on task and to be working on their classwork inside the classroom. Now, we have Class Dojo, so we're also going to be looking for Class Dojo. Okay? Now, you can put Class Dojo on your computer, open it up, and you can also have negative comments on Class Dojo, or you can have positive comments on Class Dojo. This means that when a child does not respect you or doesn't do what you're asking the child to do, you can easily open up Class Dojo and you can say, oh, well, you got a 0 for not being on task. Okay? You get a negative mark for not being on task. Or if a child is doing very well and they are answering questions and they are participating, make sure you give them a point on Class Dojo. It's very, very important that you give them a point and their parents knows. Also, at the same time, please make sure that we're going to also be checking the schedule books in the lower grades, in the elementary. We want to see notes on students' behaviors, notes on student behavior. We need a lot of notes on student behavior. Why? Because parents look at these notes because they want to know what their child is doing, okay, in school. So, 2 major things before I say goodbye. Make sure that you use Class Dojo for positive reinforcement. Make sure you use Class Dojo, and make sure that you have your objective on the board and you have your date, and you make sure that students are doing their classwork as you're walking around collecting their homework or marking their homework. And this is the final goodbye for our observations. I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you have any questions, Ms. Shema and I would be more than willing to answer your questions. Bye-bye for now. Watch this video as many times as you can in order to be ready for the observations that are coming in the next 2 weeks. We will inform you and announce the scheduling and so you can get ready. By the way, you will have 1 announced observation and 1 unannounced observation. Thank you very much and enjoy your day.